We're dinking around with Eddie and Webby. Dinking around with Eddie and Webby tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, this is Webby, not Eddie. Oh, hey, this is Eddie, not Eddie. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 68th Dinking Around.
Oh, yeah, episode number 68.
I can't believe it. We are one away from the good old 69, Webby. Can you believe it?
Oh, he said it. He said it.
I said it. I don't regret it. You know what else I don't regret, Webby? That is partnering up with our friends over at Volair. Guys, if you want to get your hands on some of the best pickleball paddles out there, like my Mach 1 Forza 16mm or
my Mach 2 Forza 16mm.
You're going to have a great experience playing with Volair paddles. They're a great company. They make great pickleball paddles. They also have other pickleball equipment. Go to Volair.com. Use coupon code PB for life to be able to get what?
You're going to get yourself 10% off your order, and you're going to help show us some support as well.
That's right. Volair.com. Great company, great paddles. Go check them out. Use our coupon code PB for life. Webby, I'm really excited about tonight, man. I know we have a lot of great stuff we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, this is going to be a very fun one. Got a unique type of segment for my topic later. I'm very excited.
I'm excited too. I'm also excited to find out
What in the world is in that drink? What you got in that drink?
That's right. What in the world is in that drink? Eddie, I would love to know what you're going to be sipping on this evening.
Well, Webby, as you've noticed, I've been drinking seltzers like crazy lately, and I'm going to be sticking with them for a while. In fact, so much so that I think we should start Eddie's Summer of Seltzers.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah. And tonight I'm going to be enjoying a Topo Chico hard seltzer. This is their tangy lemon lime flavor. And Webby, usually when I see lemon lime flavors, I feel like they usually have green as their primary, and yellow is just for lemon, but this one is lemon lime and it's yellow in color. Interesting. I'm surprised by that.
That's a different approach. I dig it.
That's good. I actually like Topo Chico's non-alcoholic sparkling water, so their hard seltzers are pretty good. I'm enjoying it. But Webby, what are you going to be sipping on?
So I've got an interesting one. Anybody who's a fan of ours for a long time, you might know that I am a huge fan of All Day IPA from Founders Brewing. But today I've got something a bit different. This is from Founders, but it's called All Day Chill Day. And I don't know if you remember, but a few episodes ago, one of the variants of Too Hard That I Drink was considered a cold IPA. And this is also a session cold IPA. So I did look it up. And according to the internet, a cold IPA is a beer that's brewed with lager yeasts at a colder temperature, resulting in a crisp, drinkable, and hop-forward beer. So it's a whole new category, apparently.
Well, it's funny because they actually have an IPL, which is an India Pale Lager. So I don't know why this would be any different, but I feel like every few years the craft beer community just throws new terms at things, and that's what happens. So cheers.
Cheers.
Tasty.
This is very good. Very light. I would say it's lighter, crisper, more crushable.
While you're crushing that, we want you guys to crush some memes during this next segment.
Now it's time for Memes of the Week. Yeah!
That's right. We're going to be crushing some memes in this segment today. This is Memes of the Week, Pickleball Podcast, hottest segment out there right now. And Webby, what meme or memes do you have for us here today?
So I have a great one from our good friend Evan Slaughter over at Fit to Serve. And this is called When Your Dad Invites You to Play Pickleball.
Get out here, son, and warm up with me. You got to do some calisthenics, especially before we play Bill. He's fast. Hey, son, do you need an elbow brace or a knee brace? Or get one of my knee braces. I got two in that side pocket of the bag. Son, if you let Shirley take the net on you like that again, she's going to own you all day up there up front. Get aggressive. I taught you better than that. Where you at, son? Get up here with me and dink at the net.
Dad, what is that stuff? It smells super strong.
What do you mean? It's the CBD relief gel. I lather completely in it, head to toe, before I start any pickleball. That way, if any aches and pains come up, I'm already ahead of the game. You see my shirt? Your mother hates this shirt. All right, y'all ready to pickle? Hey, I know Cheryl is, right, Bill? Where you at, son?
Dad, your balls are out.
Oh, my bad. Your mother got me these shorts. I didn't think I needed underwear. I thought they had some kind of liner built in. I don't care. Let Bill see. You know what? Where's Cheryl at, too? Let her get a good look.
Oh, man. I feel like so many people can relate to that too if their dad were to come out and play pickleball. And I've seen the people that lather with the cream and stuff like that, and you can just smell it. Like when you're on the same side of the court with them, you can just smell. It's almost like a Vicks Vapor Rub type of smell. But yeah, some of that stuff is spot on. So great job, Evan, at Fit to Serve.
So funny. Love it.
But Eddie, what kind of memes you got?
I got a few for us today that I think are good. And the last one is actually going to play into my topic this week as well. So why don't we kick it off over here? Listen, if you're into pickleball, I guarantee you have seen these following pictures on Instagram. It's from Anna Bright, Rachel Rohrbacher, and they took some of the greatest, most awkward 90s style photos ever on Instagram. And we got to go through these because these are absolutely classic. They're wearing matching outfits. It's super awkward and uncomfortable. Here, Anna is carrying Rachel on her back. I mean, this one, a wheelbarrow holding on to a stool. Like, have you ever taken a picture like that, Webby?
I have not. No, have you?
No, I love it though. I think this is
Yeah.
this is great. Super awkward. I don't know, I don't know how they kept straight faces while they were doing this. Like, I would just be cracking up the whole time. Yep. Again, this one, super, super awkward, but yeah, I don't. What do you even say about this? Like,
Oh,
what pose is that?
Do you think that's real, or did they have some wires holding them up in place, or do you think they were able to actually do that? If so, that's very impressive.
Oh, I think they were able to do it. They're athletes. They're professional athletes, Webby. Of course they were able
that's
to
true.
do that.
Very, very true. That's stupid of me.
Come on. Yeah, another classic one. I like how they included the stool into their pictures as well.
Yeah.
And they ended on the classic 90s homecoming or prom picture with the hands around the waist.
Oh, those are so good.
This is what I love, is that we're starting to see this influence of this kind of content make its way into the pickleball world. And I couldn't be happier, because I feel like even 2 years ago, this kind of stuff wasn't happening. And now it's starting to become more mainstream, which I love.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. And I can't believe how good they were at keeping such straight faces. I mean, that's what makes it so funny, is that they're all just very serious. I love it. So good.
It's classic. We absolutely love it. But Webby, I got a bonus meme for you if you're ready for it.
Ooh, yeah. The more memes, the better.
This is from our good friends over at Memes of Pickleball. As you know, Andrei Daescu just got fined $50,000 and suspended for 60 days from playing in the PPA or MLP because of a foreign substance on a paddle that was submitted for testing. And, well, of course, Memes of Pickleball had to jump in and make some memes about it here. So this one says, Andrei Daescu waiting for his paddle to get back from paddle testing. And there is sweat pouring down.
I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with the computer.
This is me after tapping paddles with Andrei Daescu, and it's Spider-Man with the fork stuck to his hand.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man, I love that. Breaking news, Andrei Daescu suspended for continuing to use that god-ugly blue and pink cotton candy-looking ass eyesore of a paddle. That's it. That's the reason. The Arizona Drive without Andrei Daescu, and it's somebody driving a just completely smashed car down the road.
Jeez.
Pro pickleball players taking performance-enhancing drugs. Eyes are shut. Pro pickleball players using performance-enhancing equipment. Eyes are wide open from the PPA and MLP.
Yep.
Listen, I've heard a lot of rumors about performance-enhancing stuff that gets passed around, and yeah. Those were our memes this week. We hope you guys loved them. But Webby, I got a question for you. What time is it?
Now it's time for Topics of the Week.
That's right. It's time for Topics of the Week, where Eddie and I each bring a topic to discuss. And Eddie, I want to know what you want to talk about this week.
Well, as we saw in that last meme, Andrei Daescu was fined $50,000 and suspended for 60 days from PPA and MLP events because he had submitted a paddle for testing that had a foreign substance on it. There's a lot to unpack here, a lot of questions to be able to ask. I want to go back and forth with you, Webby, see what you think about all this, maybe offer some of my perspectives on it. And then also from you out there listening, throw in the comments below. What do you think about this whole situation? Because this is pretty crazy. So, Webby, the first thing I want to be able to bring up to you is, and this is actually starting off with Andrei's response to what happened, and I'm going to pull up a tweet from the Dink or an X. What do you call it now that it's X? Is it an X? Is it still called a tweet? I don't even know what you call it.
I still say tweet. I still call it Twitter. And I don't know what it's supposed to be called. If you're sticking with it being X and not Twitter anymore, I just X'd. Like, it just sounds weird.
Yeah, well, I'm going to bring up an X here. This is from the Dink. This is Andrei Daescu's response to his current situation here. And Andrei says, I am pained by the recent events. This was an unfortunate mishap. I would never cheat. There was no intent to use the paddle in question during competition. It was mistakenly submitted for testing. The paddle has never been used in competition. The UPA has rules and policies. Paddle testing is the player's responsibility. I will abide by their decision. So, Webby, my first question for you is, do you think Andrei intended to cheat, or this was just an unfortunate mishap?
So, I mean, I've met him a few times, and I know a lot of people that know him, and based on what I have witnessed in the past and what I've heard about him, I do not think that he would intentionally cheat like that. I do think his approach to it was on the professional side, even though he denies cheating. The fact that he said that he will take whatever penalties are tossed his way and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like that's respectable. Just based on what I know from him and what I've heard about him, I find it very hard to believe that he would do something like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Andrei intended to cheat. I really don't. Although, Webby, I do think that people who are pretty honest people, which I consider you and I to be pretty honest people, it's hard for us to imagine somebody intentionally trying to cheat or gain an advantage here. Yeah. But if you were to put a gun to my head and said you have to pick, I would definitely say that I don't believe that Andrei cheated. I really do think that this was an unfortunate mishap. Kind of going a little further with that too. Well, where's Proton in all of this, right? So was this something that they were testing out and encouraging him to do to try out? Was this a substance that he had to add to his paddles because the paddles weren't holding up anymore and he couldn't compete, and he was like trying to see if adding to the paddle face was going to help? Like, do you think there's any kind of question there with Proton in this?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you know what reason somebody would do that? I mean, I know, like in baseball, if you put tar on your hand as a pitcher, that's highly illegal because that can really impact the way that you throw the ball. Do you know, like, why anybody would put a tar type substance on a paddle like that?
Well, I think I think the whole tar thing just came through the rumor mill. I don't know if it was that, but what I do know is there are actually companies out there that are trying to sell products that you're supposed to be able to add to your paddle face that is supposed to give it more grit for spin, maybe power. I don't really know what the whole point is, but I know that by basically altering the paddle face, you could potentially affect the impact that it has on your game, the ability to spin the ball. Obviously, the stickier the surface, the longer the ball is going to remain on the paddle, which gives you more whipping power. It gives you the ability to generate more spin. So my assumption is if it was a substance that was supposed to enhance the paddle's ability, it would be something like that, something that would allow the ball to be able to stick to the paddle more to create more spin or more whip from it. So with all that being said, though, do you think the punishment fits the crime? I mean, here we have the UPA. It's PPA and MLP's new governing body that is separate from USA Pickleball. And although they might have published some other decisions previously, this is kind of their first big decision that they're making. And my initial thought was $50,000 and a 60-day suspension for a paddle failing a test seems kind of crazy to me. Unless you can prove intent, that he was intentionally trying to cheat, what makes this any different than if you submitted a paddle for testing that maybe came directly from the manufacturer and it failed? And in fact, Zane Navratil brought that up on X as well. And he said, legitimate question. Why is Andrei's failed paddle any different than the thousands of other failed paddles? So my question for you is, what makes it different in your perspective, or do you think it's different? And also, do you really think that this punishment fits the crime?
So I do think it's extreme. I think it's way too harsh of a punishment, but I do see a potential big difference in like the other paddles failing compared to what's going on here. Because based on what I've read, it sounds like this is potentially something that was done by the player and not necessarily an issue with the paddle that the manufacturers put out there. Because if you're a sponsored player, you're going to play with the paddles that your sponsors give you, and it's not really your fault if they manufacture a paddle that's illegal. However, in this case, it sounds like an illegal substance was put onto the paddle after the fact, so that means it was done afterwards. Just whether or not that was something that he's ever done during a tournament, like used a paddle that has that, which I can't imagine that would ever happen though, because if it's going to get tested, I mean, you see even in amateur tournaments, the refs, they rub the paddle to make sure there's no substance on there. So I mean, nobody should ever get away with there being an illegal substance on a paddle. So I really do believe that this was just a weird mishap where the paddle that was given was something that Andrei was testing out. But I think that's the main difference, and maybe that's the point they're trying to get across, like, is if you alter your paddle after the fact, that's a huge no-no compared to if a manufacturer does something to the paddles during the manufacturing process.
Do you think manufacturers should be punished if they are manufacturing paddles that are being submitted by these players that are failing tests then?
I do feel like there's somebody's got to be accountable for that. I mean, I feel like the manufacturers can't just blame like, oh, well, we have these made overseas and they must have done something wrong. I feel like that's the responsibility of these companies to make sure that the companies they're using to make their paddles does a good job. So yeah, there's a whole thing going on here with paddles these days, and it's crazy, but somebody needs to get a hold of it before it gets too out of hand.
Yeah, I definitely want to hand it to the UPA for making this a focus of theirs. I might not necessarily agree with how harshly they came down on Andrei, but I do like that they're getting ahead of it. And I also agree with you, Webby. I do think that somebody needs to be responsible for making sure that these paddles are meeting the standards. And if it's not up to the player to do it, it really needs to be up to the manufacturer. And there has to be some sort of process in place or ways to deter these paddle manufacturers from producing paddles and giving them to these players that they know aren't going to pass the test. Going a little bit further into that, Webby, it's conspiracy theory time, okay? And this is going to wrap up this topic here. Andrei was not a signed MLP or PPA player before this. He was still playing APP events. He was still winning APP events, even though he was a solid MLP player. And he did pretty well in PPA too. So now, from what I understand, he is a contracted MLP PPA player. I don't really know. I'm assuming it's through MLP, but I have heard that he has a contract. I can't confirm it, but that's what I've heard. So now, if he wasn't a contracted player before, this whole scandal breaks out, and now he is a contracted player. Do you think there's any chance that this whole thing was used as leverage to get him to become a signed player? And to take that further, do you think if he would have been a currently signed player when this went down, it would have just been swept under the rug, or it wouldn't have been as big of a deal? So kind of a two-part question to you. Do you think there's a conspiracy here?
I mean, knowing the way that PPA does things, I really would not be too surprised if that turns out to be the case.
Well, guys, We want to know what you think. These are our opinions. These are our questions. We don't have all the answers, but I think we have enough experience in this game to know that something is not smelling right here. And I do think that this would have been a different outcome if it was a PPA or MLP contracted player. That's my take. That's Webby's take. We want to know your take. Put it down in the comments below. Webby, I'm excited. What is going to be your topic this week?
All right, so my topic is going to be a lot more lighthearted. I had a really awesome experience a couple weeks ago. I did a tournament with my daughter. This one was very, very special, and this was at the Jojo+Lo Pickleball Open at the Lake Odessa Picklebowl. And the reason it was so special is they did what was called Family Day, and it meant that all the divisions that they did that day, it had to be teams of parents with children or grandparents with grandchildren. So it could be a mother-daughter team, it could be a father-daughter team, a grandma, grandson, etc. So as soon as I found out that that was happening, I was like, oh man, I've got to do this tournament with my daughter. So we signed up for it. We did the 3.5 division, so they did have it separated by skill level. And while I was there, I had a chance to interview Jojo+Lo themselves. So I thought it would be cool to play that interview now, and that's going to be my topic for this week. All right, so we are here at the Lake Odessa Picklebowl for the Jojo+Lo Pickleball Open. Good to see you guys in person. I know we've crossed paths a little bit here and there, but it's awesome to be here. And is this the first time you guys have run a tournament?
This is the first annual Jojo+Lo Pickleball Open, so we're thrilled.
There will be more.
Nice.
Yes.
The main reason I signed up for this is because I saw that you guys were doing something very unique that I had never seen before, and it was a division that was specifically for parents and children or grandparents and grandchildren to team up, and it was co-ed. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, this is something I've got to do with my daughter. And I got to tell you, this was an absolute blast. Such a fun tournament.
It was so fun, and everybody is just commenting like they've never been in a tournament where they could play with family members, and they had a blast, and everybody had their best court etiquette going, and it was just a good time.
Generational. We loved it. It was so fun. I played with my dad, and we actually played against you and Addison, our daughter. Super good match. Addison's awesome.
It was a very good, close match. And our only loss of the day, my daughter and I, the only loss was to their team. So it was a good battle.
It was
a good match
fun.
Too. And like you said, the vibe of this tournament was so nice because like everybody was very nice and friendly, but still competitive, very good, intense competitive matches. So
the competition
very cool.
was incredible.
Yeah.
We were surprised by that. We had
incredible.
We had a great grandmother playing with her great grandson, and I think he was about 6 or 7.
Wow.
And they ended up medaling.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. It's like there's no other sport I can think of where you can play good, competitive, intense with that wide of an age range and stuff like that. So one of the many reasons why I absolutely love pickleball.
Yeah, and everyone was kind.
Yeah, you don't always get that at tournaments. Not everybody is always nice and kind throughout the whole day.
Honest calls all day long.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, this was awesome. But I want to learn a little more about you two. How long have you guys known each other? And actually introduce yourself to everybody so they know who's Jojo and who's Lo.
Jojo.
Okay.
And I'm Lo, and we used to be tennis partners. And we were pretty good tennis partners.
Nice.
We were killing it. But I had a knee issue happen, and the doctor said, look, you need to do less tennis and a little bit more pickleball. So I started playing pickleball and quit tennis completely. And I had to get my best tennis partner on board. So we started playing pickleball.
It took a minute.
Yeah, probably 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we were going to go to a tournament during COVID in Phoenix, Arizona, actually. And we went online. We were going to be partners, and we looked online for something to wear and couldn't find anything except for, lime green shirts with dancing pickles or pickleballs with smiley faces. And I said, Jody, you're a graphic artist. Like, we could come up with some really fun designs that are specifically for pickleball that Our original goal was to kind of make pickleball cool. So we were going to try to change the image of pickleball one graphic tee at a time. And so we've been able to do that. People love our stuff, and it's selling really well.
We get ideas from, all the participants at tournaments.
Yeah.
So it's great. Like when we leave a tournament, we go home and we're like, all right, what did we like best?
Yeah.
So we involve the community, the pickleball community
sure.
in our designs, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stuff you guys make is very stylish. It's stuff that I can see like my daughters would think is actually cool and stuff like that, but stuff that I would like to wear too. And what you guys said was right. Like when I first got involved in pickleball, like I would do an online search for pickleball shirts and stuff like that. And there were not many options. And the ones that I did find were all pretty much the same thing, like a pickle playing pickleball or whatever like that. Just very cheesy looking, clip art type stuff. So it was definitely good that you guys got into it when you did. And I do really like the look of the clothing that you guys make and the merch. So very cool stuff.
Yeah, it's been selling great. Like I said, we've been in business about 2.5 years. We're on Pickleball Central. We're in a lot of clubs across the country. That's growing and growing. And we love what we're doing. And the people give us such great feedback, especially like at tournaments. Yesterday, a customer came up and he was from Northville, Michigan. Never met him. He goes, I'm one of your customers and I came here because I wanted to meet you guys. We're like, what? So
we definitely feel the love from the community. It's been awesome.
That's great. So Eddie and I, we do pickleball tournaments from time to time in addition to running the YouTube channel, but we actually, we don't have the greatest of chemistry. Have you guys ever played pickleball together, and how is your chemistry?
Horrible.
We do awful. That tournament that we were talking about in Phoenix, we were 2 and out.
But the teams we played rolled in with like coaches and they had cameras.
Oh,
and
wow.
like, we looked at each other and we spotted like our friend Dan Howard. We're like, oh my God, Dan, we need some coaching.
DJ, he's nomad DJ.
Yeah.
He helped us out, and everybody's like, how did you get DJ Howard to be your coach? We're like, he was our tennis coach. So
nice.
But yeah, we typically do not partner together. We have other partners for pickleball. We're great business partners.
And we play like recreationally.
Yes.
Like, we have a huge group of women that play every Friday.
Yeah.
And like we partner and play and it's fun.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the pressure of the tournament.
It is the pressure. And I tend to get nervous. And Jody doesn't get as nervous, but I can see on her face when I disappoint her. so I'm just like, I crumble.
Yeah, Eddie and I can definitely relate to that. I'm the one that gets way more nervous and stuff gets into my head and affects my play. He's a lot more calm and cool and stuff like that. But yeah, like we don't jive the greatest. I mean, it doesn't help that we live across the country from each other. I feel like if we could practice together, maybe we would do better. But it's funny how that works, how a lot of people that are either business partners or just really good friends just do not jive well on the pickleball court.
That's okay, like we recognized it right away.
Yeah.
We're like, nope.
Yeah, pretty much the Beer City Open is really the only time every year that we were like, okay, we're gonna play together no matter what. And you guys mentioned how you guys went 0-2 and out. We've gone 0-2 and out in every tournament we've done together. So, or actually there was one tournament down in Florida, we got 1 win. So that's the only time we've ever gotten like 1 single win together. But at the Beer City Open, we've gone 0-2 out every single time. So we're hoping that this year is the year that we get our first win.
We're gonna be watching you, and we're gonna hold you to that.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I know the first time I ever met you guys, it was I think 2 or 3 years ago at the Beer City Open. You had this really cool setup where you had a real big beer mug and you had to hit the pickleball into it. Pickle pong,
Pickle pong. We wanted to do something that was like beer pong, but you used a paddle and a pickleball. So we came up with this big giant beer mug, and you have to try to get it in. You can bounce it, or you can hit it right off the paddle and hit it into the mug.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was a couple glasses of wine in. We're like, oh, that's such a good idea.
Oh my gosh, we thought we were geniuses.
I thought it was brilliant.
It is fun. Like it takes like the downtime. People come over, they get to win a t-shirt, they sink the ball. It's super fun.
It's really fun, and it's hard.
Like it is. I got the ball very, very close a couple times, but it just either went like slightly too long or like hit the edge and rolled out. But I thought for sure I was going to win a shirt, but nope, couldn't do it.
We have
get another chance this year.
Nice.
We have some video of that on Instagram, just to show you how hard it actually is, and you know, these big beer mugs with the foam going around it, and
we played at in the Atlantic City Open. And it was sponsored by Margaritaville, so we made massive margarita glasses. Yeah. Same concept. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Like,
they got a shot at tequila if they won.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very cool. This tournament has been a huge success. Do you guys think you're going to keep doing more tournaments like this? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, nice.
We're thinking of maybe doing one in Lansing, Michigan, where we live, East Lansing, and do a family theme again, because people are loving it. So
I think that's such a great idea. I love it.
The nice thing about it was the combined level. So like if a parent was a 4.0 and the child was a 3.0, they came in at a 3.5 level. So that kind of balanced everything out. Sure.
Yeah, this tournament was an absolute blast, and you couldn't ask for much better weather either. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful day.
Absolutely. Pure Michigan.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks for spending this time with me to answer some questions.
We had a blast. I know you guys had fun on the courts too.
We did.
Battling.
I want a rematch.
Yeah.
But how can people keep up with you two? Like, what's the best way to follow you two? And
yeah, jojoandlo.com is our website, JOJOandDLO.com, and the same name on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll have lots of footage from this tournament as well today.
Yes.
So.
And we have new products dropping all the time, so
We always have to have something new to wear, so we just keep making new stuff.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been awesome, but back to you, Eddie and Webby.
Yay! Thanks,
Thank
Eddie
you.
and Webby.
Man, that was such a fun experience. It was awesome getting a chance to talk to Jojo and Lo. And the fact that Addison and I were able to compete in that tournament and finally end my tournament dry spell, and we came home with the bronze medals, that was super, super cool. I mean, it's just the fact that I was able to play with my daughter is cool enough, but the fact that we were able to bring home medals also, I mean, very, very cool, very memorable. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, we do have the highlight video on our YouTube channel from our tournament experience, so you're going to want to check that out. But that was seriously one of the most fun and unique tournament experiences I've had so far, and it was an absolute blast.
Yeah, it seemed like a really cool event. And I know that a lot of people have been making comments on our channel that they want to see more videos with you and Addison. So I think it's cool that you're able to play in that event. And Jojo and those seem like incredible people. They seem like they fit right into that culture that we love within the pickleball world of they were saying, hey, we couldn't find any clothing that we really liked, so we just made our own brand.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's one of the things, like one of the many things I love about pickleball is that stuff like that happens. And I don't know about you, but I saw like some parallels with them and us with the way things worked out with how they came about with their business and stuff like that. Because I mean, you and I were good friends. We just decided to do a YouTube channel and then in a podcast, and then we got into pickleball, and then we noticed that there wasn't really any good, fun content geared towards younger people. It was all geared towards the senior citizens that dominated the sport at the time that we got into it. So we were like, hey, let's make some fun content that kind of might make younger people think it's a cool sport to get into and not just an old person's sport. So yeah, I feel like I saw a lot of parallels between us, and it was very fun getting a chance to talk to them.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And guys, if you want to see more interviews like that, let us know down in the comments below, because we have some really cool opportunities to talk to and meet some very interesting people in the pickleball space at a lot of these events that we go to. So let us know if that's something you want us to continue to focus on. Great topic, Webby. But I got another question for you. And that is, how do you like to stay hydrated?
Well, what I like to do when I'm playing pickleball is I like to get the Fruit Punch Electrolyte Supreme from Jigsaw Health. I make 2 bottles of it. I drink one before I play, and then I drink one when I'm done playing, and my hydration is mwah.
Well, Jigsaw Health has a lot of products to keep you hydrated, keep you feeling good. I take a lot of their products on a daily basis. My favorite is the Pickleball Cocktail Blue Raspberry flavor. And guys, Jigsaw has a lot of other products that you should check out, and they are obsessed with pickleball. So much so that they created the Orchard at Jigsaw Health, which is an incredible indoor facility, home of the Arizona Pickleball League, which they also created. They also created a documentary called Breaking Pickleball. So not only do they have products that are going to keep you feeling good, they also are obsessed with pickleball. And guys, I'm telling you, you should support brands that are big into pickleball like that, because that's going to keep this sport growing. Go to jigsawhealth.com. Use coupon code PB4Life10 to get what, Webby?
You're going to get $10 off your order and help support us in the process.
As I said, go to jigsawhealth.com. Use coupon code PB4Life10 to get $10 off of your order.
That's right. I thought this was a great episode, but before we go, Eddie, I would love to know your
closing thoughts.
So what did we learn today? We learned that playing pickleball with your dad can lead to some awkward situations and a bunch of CBD cream. We also learned that awkward family photos aren't just a thing from the 80s and 90s, and they've actually made their way into the pickleball world. We also learned that Andrei Daescu has fined a metric buttload of money for adding an illegal substance to his paddle. And Webby also got an opportunity to spend time with our friends Jojo and Lo of Jojo and Lo at a recent tournament where Webby got to play with his daughter Addison, which a lot of you have been begging him to do. So much great stuff. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Webby, any closing thoughts from you tonight?
No, I just thought that was a very fun episode. We had a good, deep conversation, but then we had a nice, lighthearted conversation. I thought it was a good one.
I agree. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think. Are there any topics you want us to discuss? Are there any memes that you guys want us to review? Let us know down in the comments below. And on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.
Well We're dinking around with Eddie and Webby. Dinking around with Eddie and Webby tonight.